The US, the US, the United States of America, is a country of 50 states, the country who rule the world, the country proud to rule the world, the greatest people, greatest country, covering a vast swath of North America, with Alaska in the northwest and Hawaii extending the nation's presence into the Pacific Oceans. Major Atlantic coast cities like New York, a global finance and cultural center, and capital Washington DC, Midwestern metropolis. Chicago is known for influential architecture, and on the West Coast, Los Angeles, Hollywood is famed for filmmaking. One solemn said about United States, if you just visit America, you visit all over the world. Here the people coming across the world from every nations and settle here. They love Americas. They love United States. The history of United States. The prehistory of the United States is dated with the arrival of our Native Americans before 15,000 BC. Numerous indigenous cultures formed and many disappeared before 1500. The arrival of Christopher Columbus and the year 1492 started the European colonization of the Americas. Most colonies was formed after 1600, and the early record and writings of John Winthrop make the United States the first nation who was most distant origins are fully recorded. By the 1760s, the 13 British colonies contained 2.5 million people along with Atlantic coast east of Appalachian Mountains. After defeating France, the British government imposed a series of taxes, including the Stamp Act of 1765, rejecting the colonialist constitution, argument that new taxes needed their approval. Resistance to these taxes, especially the Boston Tea Party in 1773, led to Parliament issue punitive laws designed to end self-government in Massachusetts. Armed conflict began in 1775-76 and flowed fear. The Second Continental Congress declared the independence of the colonies as the United States led by General George Washington. It won the Revolutionary War with large support from France and additionally help from Spain and Netherlands. The Peace of Treaty of 1783 gave the land east of the Mississippi River, except Canada and Florida, to the new nation. The Articles of Confederation established a central government, but it was ineffectual at providing stability as it could not collect taxes, and no executive officer. The convention in 1787 wrote a new constitution that was adopted in 1789 and 1791. A Bill of Rights was added to guarantee inalienable rights, with Washington as the first president as Alexander Hamilton. His chief advisor, a strong central government was created. Purchase of the Louisiana Territory from France in 1803 doubled the size of the United States. As second and final war with Britain was fought in 1812, which solidified national pride. Encouraged by the nation of a manifest destiny, US territory expanded all the way to the Pacific coast, while the United States was large in terms of area by 1790. Its population was only 4 million. It grew rapidly, however, reaching 7.2 million in 1810, 32 million in 1860, 76 million in 1900, 132 million in 1940, and 321 million in 2015. Economic growth in terms of overall GDP was even greater. The great United States. Compared to European powers, though the nation's military strength was relatively limited in peacetime before 1940. Westward expansion was driven by the quest for inexpensive land for human farmers and slave owners. The expansion of slavery was increasingly controversial and futile political and constitutional battles, which were resolved by compromises. Slavery was abolished in the states north of Mason-Dixon line by 1804. But the South continued to profit from the institution, mostly from the production of cotton. Republican Abraham Lincoln was elected president in 1860. This is the revolutionary time. Abraham Lincoln the Great, on a platform of halting the expansion of slavery. 7 southern states, slave states, rebelled and created the foundation of Confederacy. Its attack of Fort Sumter against the Union force there in 1861 started as a civil war defeat of the Confederates. In 1865 led to the improvement of South and the abolition of slavery. In the Reconstruction era following the war, legal and voting rights were extended to freed slaves. The national government emerged much stronger, and because of 14th Amendment in 1868, it gained express duty to protect individual rights. However, when the Democrats regained their power in the South in 1877, often by parliamentary suppression of voting, they posed Jim Crow laws to maintain military white supremacy as well as disenfranchising the state constitution that prevents most African American and many poor whites from voting. It continued until the gain of the civil rights movement in 1960 and the passage of federal legislation to enforce uniform constitutional rights for all citizens. The United States became the world's leading industrial power at the turn of the century. Due to outburst of interpretation and industrialization in the Northeast and Middle East, and the arrival of millions of immigrant workers and farmers from Europe, a national railroad network was completed and large-scale mines and factories were established. Mass dissatisfaction with corruption, inefficiency, and traditional political stimulated the progressive movement. From 1890s to 1920s, the era led to many reforms, including the 16th to 19th Constitutional Amendment, which bore the feudal days, direct election of senators, prohibition and women's suffrage. Initially natural during World War I, the United States declared war on Germany in 1917 and funded the Allied victory. The following year, women obtained the right of vote in 1920s, and Native began obtaining citizenship and the right vote in 1824. After a prosperous decades in the 1920s, the Wall Street crash of 1929 marked the once of the decade-long worldwide Great Depression. Democrats President Franklin D. Roosevelt ended the Republican dominance of the White House and implemented his New Deal program, which included relief for the unemployment and support for farmers, social security and the minimum wage. The New Deal defined modern American high development. After the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, the United States entered World War II and financed the Allied War effort and helped defeat Nazi Germany in the European theater. Its involvement culminated in using newly invented nuclear weapons into Japan cities to defeat Imperial Japan in the Pacific theater. The United States and the Soviet Union emerged as rival superpowers in the aftermath of World War II. During the Cold War, the two countries continued each other in developing the Abbas, the space race, the proxy wars, the propaganda campaign. The goal of the United States in the was to stop the threats of communism in the 1960s, in the large part due to the strength of the civil rights movement. Another way of social reforms is enacted while enforced the constitutional rights of voting and freedom of movement to Americans and the other official movements. The Cold War ended when the Soviet Union was officially dissolved in 1991, leaving the United States as the world's only superpower. This is the great United States of America.